Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back again. Another content video for current events. And the current event topic that I want to talk about now is actually what occurred last night. We all seen Donald Trump had his 250-year America anniversary. Um, the White House, they held an event for a UFC fight. And whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it is what it is. Um, Obama had events at the White House too, parties and stuff like that. Nothing remotely close to this, in my personal opinion. It is tacky. Um, to me, it's just not a good look. But I'm an independent thinker, an independent voter. So I say that to say I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I switched from the Democratic Party to an independent party about 15 years ago. So I don't really want to be attached to either side because I can have standpoints and ideas and viewpoints of both sides. In my opinion, both sides can be wrong at times, and both sides can have very good points and be right at times. And I don't have an emotional tie to the Democratic side to disregard everything the Republicans are saying and thinking. I don't have an emotional tie to the Republican side to disregard everything the Democrats are thinking. As independent voters, we sit in the middle and we just see everything for what it is, you know? So with that being said, if I'm looking at this as an independent voter, independent thinker point of view, let's say we're over the fact that Trump had this event, UFC, whatever. I think it's tacky, but okay, you had the event. However, what's the point of this UFC fighter, Josh? I don't know his last name. I don't know the guy. Never heard of him. But apparently, what he said about Michelle Obama is going viral, as you see it all over the news lines. And, you know, um, my thing is the Republicans have to be careful because it's so distasteful. And I'm seeing across all the social media outlets the responses and the comments from all the conservative Republicans. They they think it's funny. All you see is ha ha. I thought that was hilarious. I spit my tea out. I spit my water out. Well, is he lying? The ignorance of the people that's agreeing with this ignorant statement is astonishing. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the Republicans have to be very careful because that was so distasteful, unclassy for somebody to say something like that on the property of the White House at a bizarre UFC event after he just won a fight. Even saying, giving Trump props for having big kahunas and saying that on TV in front of the White House. Like, what are we doing? Uh, at this point, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you have to agree that's just not what America should be looking like right now. It's not a good look. I don't care if you think it's funny. You know what I mean? It's just not something that should have been said in front of the White House. Furthermore, what do Michelle Obama has to do with anything? What does she have to do with the fight? Where did that come from? And why are people like that so obsessed with Michelle Obama who have done nothing to them? She don't mention them. She mind her own business. And furthermore, since when is it okay for men to attack women? To me, that's the equivalent of a man putting his hands on a woman. You just don't do that. A man should never hit a woman. In the same degree, a man should never attack a woman like that without being held accountable by other men. Other men shouldn't be laughing and thinking it's funny. They should check this guy. Whether you're white, black, Democrat, Republican, it's nothing funny about that. And as the president, you should come out immediately and step back, separate yourself from that statement, apologize for him, or just release some kind of statement like, look, we don't feel that way about the former first lady. It's about respect. It's not about Democrat versus Republican. It's about respecting the House, the White House, the presidencies of prior presidents and their wives. Like, this isn't a hard thing to dissect. Anybody with common decency, empathy, sees this and go, this is sick. And I'm going to tell you, this is how independent voters think. We're not Team Trump. Believe it or not, we're not Team Obama. Whether we love or hate either or, it don't matter to us. We're not dedicated or emotionally tied to either side. That's why we're independents. So Republicans have to be careful because as an independent voter, we see things for what it is, and we're not happy with that. We don't think it's funny. We don't think it's a good shot at Michelle Obama. We think it's distasteful, unprecedented like to have that kind of energy in front of the White House saying such an ignorant statement that sounds pretty racially biased. You know, the first black lady, first lady, just so happened to look like a man to you guys. Like, come on, man. As if the other first ladies don't look like men. Or potentially you can say the same thing about them as well. You can insult a lot of former first ladies. I've seen the pictures, right? But instead you attack the only black first lady. It's a racial undertone to that people who's not tied to either side, we see it clearly. There's a racial undertone. And the amount of agreeing and laughing and co-signing. This is not what America should be looking like and sounding like and showing the world. We shouldn't be showing the world this side of America. The outsiders are looking at this like, what in the world is going on? It's not funny. We're not 17-year-olds sitting around a cafeteria table telling jokes on each other and just we're grown, civilized adults, fully grown. We supposed to be setting the example for our kids. They're supposed to look at us and get the example of leadership, class, dignity, no matter what side you're on. And we're not showing them that right now. And honestly, the Republican Party, I don't think they realize how dangerously close they are to never regaining the independent vote probably ever again. I promise you, independent voters are looking at the conservative Republican Party right now like, what in the world is this? This is insane, disrespectful, distasteful, racially biased to say the least. And the independent vote is very important. They can act like they don't need the independent votes and the independent voters all they want. But I'm telling you, our vote is very important. So to lose our vote is a big deal. You probably won't win another election without the support of the independent voters. And you have to understand how we think. And the way we think, we're not Team Trump. We're not Team Obama. We're about logic, decency, and class. You understand? We remember the America before Trump, before Obama. It's a certain level of classic dignity that was displayed by presidents and the people around the president. Certain things were never said, certain things were never done, regardless of how you felt about the other side. It's not hard to come to the conclusion that this is ignorant. This is insane. The Republican Party needs to be careful. Because what may be funny to you guys and a joke and a laughing matter and not a big deal, the rest of the world who you're going to need, some Democratic votes, you're going to need some independent votes in the future. I guarantee you're not going to get them. Because right now we're looking like, who are these guys? And what in the world happened to America? Dignity, America's standards, the respect of the former presidents and their first ladies. And no, man, I don't know what to say, man. This is like the Twilight Zone. You know, the event itself is awkward and tacky, you know, but I give you that because, you know, other presidents have had events at the White House of their liking, whether it was, you know, the parties Obama threw, which is nothing compared to this UFC event. I'm comparing apples to oranges, literally. But, you know, I give Trump the benefit of the doubt that whatever, you can have whatever event that you want to have at the White House. I'm not going to get on you for that. You know, as an independent voter, whatever, do your thing. But that was ignorant and that shouldn't have been said. And Michelle Obama deserved an apology. The American people deserve an apology. An apology should be, I'm sorry, it should be stated by Trump. And if you don't come out and speak against this, which I doubt if you do, it's a bad look. And Republicans may be satisfied and think it's funny, laugh away, laugh it up, but you're not looking good right now. The rest of the world and the rest of the voters that's not Republicans are looking at you guys right now in total shock, as we should. Well, that's all I got to say about that topic. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.